Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. This is your Wednesday Team Prosperity meeting, and I'm very excited to be here today. We're going to have Angelo say a few words. We're very excited about that, as well as we have a great presentation from Mike today, and I wanted to go over some announcements first. So let's go ahead and get into it. I appreciate everybody that's here today, and I also appreciate the time that people are taking to listen to the recording as well. So let me get my presentation going. All right, so Wednesday, September 11th, 2019. I definitely want to take a minute to recognize that this is a big day for everybody, for some more than others. You know, I want to take a minute to remember the lost, honor the survivors, and never forget the heroes, which I think is important to everybody. But I wanted to go over some big announcements that have been happening. We've had a lot of questions lately about residency. We've had a big wave of interest of all kinds of different people wanting to come in and be part of our organization. But they do need to have permanent residency. So they have to have a green card, and they have to have a social security number, which doesn't require a work authorization. So they can't be here like on a temporary basis. They have to have, permanent residency. Another thing is, I don't know if you all know, but Transamerica has their own YouTube channel. They don't have too many videos that are brand new, but if you want to go check it out, they do have some good ones. To get there, it's youtube.com/Transamerica. Checked it out today. They do have a few good ones. And it's still Life Insurance Awareness Month. So great way to open up conversations about financial literacy and, what we do on the client side. You all are getting these emails all the time, these little pictures you can actually click on, and they're shareable. I have this email if anybody needs it. I'd be happy to forward it over. And there's always something exciting going on. Transamerica does one of these contests at least once or twice a year where they recognize people that help a lot of families, using Transamerica and their products. So you could take a look at the little bonus that Transamerica is doing for producers and people writing business. And of course, there's a Hawaii trip going on right now, Hawaii contest, as well as an Ireland trip and contest going on right now. Really, really exciting stuff. And I got this email. It went to SMBs and higher, so I don't know if you all got one or not. But this is extremely exciting. They're switching up the way that they do the All Access Pass. It's going to really become more affordable pretty much for everybody up to the SMB level. If you're writing business, it's going to be no cost if it's set up electronically. They're going to be covering this. You're going to be getting a lot of emails about it. They're splitting it into a platform fee for licensed agents, and then E&O is going to be separate. And the E&O is not going to start again until agents get appointed, which is great. And then I know that the new president of WFG is working on reducing E&O even further, as well as looking into options and taking outside E&O. That's going to be coming up. We don't have a date for that yet, but it's all explained very well in the 6-minute Tom Dempsey video. Again, if you don't have it, let me know. I could forward it to you so you can watch it. All great stuff. Some other announcements. Eric Han, who is our virtual regional wholesaler for Transamerica, is going to be doing a training just for our team, Team Prosperity, on September 25th, which is 2 weeks from today. There's a poll out on our Facebook group about the different topics that he can do, and we're getting a vote. So I encourage you to vote so you could see, the training next that you want to see. I made a little snapshot of it. It was from September 6th. If you need, help finding it in the Facebook group, let me and Mike know. We can get you there and help you, cast that vote. You just click on the one that you want to see, and then your voice will be heard. And we definitely want that. Also, Julie Stewart from Crump is going to be doing an annuity training with all the newest annuity offerings. And that's going to be actually the following day, September 26th at 2 p.m. We know for sure that Eric's will be recorded, and I'm almost positive that Julie's will also be approved for recording as well. We'll just have to double check. And then I'm going to be doing a training on Saturday for the company on the importance of setting goals. And I really think that this is just so important for everybody. You know, this is why we do the 12-week year. This is why we do the daily and the weekly activity sheet. It's all about, you know, setting those goals and reaching them. You know, without setting them, you're not going to reach them. And you're going to see that, like for me and Mike, our next goal is EMD, or Executive Marketing Director. For that, we need 3 SMD legs and $500,000 and rolling 6-month points. So you should always know what your next promotion is and how to get there. You know, it's so incredibly important. And what does that mean for us, right? Look at this. The average between an SMD and an EMD, the difference is about $105,000 a year. And I think that that solely comes from having those 3 SMD legs and overriding those other, you know, digital agencies that you're building within your agency. So once you get to the SVP or the SMD mark, then it's all about building out other leaders and how many other leaders can you help get there and help them build their business. So we're really in a great spot where everybody's here, you know, for your growth and wants to help you get there. And that's how we find success, is by helping others find success. So I'm really, really excited. This is my last slide that I have. Today with us, we have Angelo. And Angelo is working with Adam, their business partners, and they're on track to hit the sprint track here most likely this month, but possibly early next month. We're really excited that he's taken a few minutes to talk with us. He was a former EVC with WFG, making, you know, up to 6 figures a month, consistently making $250,000 to $500,000 a year. He's got a, you know, background of high earnings, huge agency growth, and right now he's working as a coach and business partner with Adam. So pay attention, take some notes. You know, Angelo's done it, and he's doing it again, and he's doing it right now. So I'm really excited. Let me find Angelo and unmute him.
Good morning.
Angelo, hey, there you are. Go right ahead. Thank you so much.
Morning. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk to the team. I really appreciate you giving me, this 5-10 minutes to just share some of the things we've been doing. And I want to thank you and Mike both. I know it's difficult sometimes to let an outside person come in and share information without us knowing each other. And we really just got started working together. So thank you again for giving me the opportunity to share. So with that being said, oh, by the way, I wasn't an EVC. I was an EMD, Executive Marketing Director. So kind of where you and Mike are headed right now. And I met, my name is Evangelos Xagoreris, and I was with World Financial Group since 1993. Built 3 offices, about, 82 licensed guys over that time frame. Did pretty well, but it wasn't virtual, right? You had to run the 3 offices, and it was challenging to say the least. So when I retired 4 years ago, I wanted to go more into financial literacy and helping people understand the rules of money as opposed to selling. However, things just happen where you meet the right people and you form partnerships. And I happened to meet a young lady named Alexandra, and I told her what I did with financial literacy. And she said, well, there's somebody you need to meet. And that was Adam. And I got introduced to Adam Carswell. Adam, of course, he and I got together, and I'll tell you a little more about his background another time, but he's in his late 20s, an entrepreneur, does real estate, commercial real estate. And I shared with him the vision of what I wanted to do, even before Virtual Financial Group came into my life. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't mind helping you get to where you need to go, but we're going to shoot for 7 figures a year. I said, if it's less than 7 figures, I said, you're talking to the wrong guy. And we agreed, over $1 million a year is where we need to be to get started on this thing and to go further. So it's been a fun first month license, to say the least. Adam actually brought on board a good friend of his from Ohio, Brandon Hauser, and Brandon, did the exchange that we do. and that was over 4,344 points in business. And I brought in, helped Adam get Arjun and Suchi, a husband and wife team right here out of the Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area. And they were able to take care of their own exchange. And just from their side, it was another over 24,500 in target premium. So in that first month, Adam is sitting at 28,824 in target premium, which will cash flow him at his current contract a little over, I think it's somewhere around $17,500, $18,000, which isn't a bad first month. The beauty of this, and what Mike wanted me to kind of share with, is how do we get to these people? What is it I talk about when I'm in front of somebody that would get them intrigued enough to get back together and talk? Whether it's virtual or face-to-face, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I use all forms of contact and all forms of meetings that are available to me. With Brandon and Adam, they've been friends for a while, so it had to do about getting together and building a virtual financial company that they can do business in all 50 states. Brandon was very intrigued by that, and that was the reason he would come on board. He's in the process of licensing right now. And based on what he's done already, he's already going to be promoted from 30 to, I think it's something like 56% or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. With Arjun and Suchi, husband and wife, people don't know this, but I do, this is going to sound funny to a lot of people, I do Uber from 6 a.m. till about 8 a.m. Monday through Thursday. And the reason for that simply is to make more contacts. And as you well know, of course, Uber, somebody jumps in, you have a captive audience. So I'm able to have a communication with people. And what I always ask is, you know, are you heading to work? What is it you do? Right? And in this case, Arjun was heading over to Apple Computers, where he works. And almost all the time, people will ask me this question: is this your full-time thing, or do you do something else? Which is amazing as an opening, because it allows me to now share with them what I do and what I teach. And I don't talk about things like life insurance. I don't talk about things like living benefits. It's not a sexy conversation. I use the word sexy because it's not exciting, right? It doesn't get the juices flowing. I talk about financial literacy. I said, you know, I've been in the game for quite a while, and what I teach now is financial literacy. I said I teach people how to get their finances in order. More importantly, how to do two major things. One, retire with tax-free income. I said, and make sure that we protect the investments while it's growing from the downturns in the market, because people can lose money when we have these huge adjustments. I said, and everybody wants to make money and not pay taxes, don't you think? Or wouldn't you agree? And people will, of course, say, yeah, and there's always that question. It's like, how do you do that? I said, I'm glad you asked. I said, you know, we hold online webinars and seminars to teach people how to do exactly that. I said, if you'd like, I said, I can send you a link to some of that information. What's a good number to, or a good email? And what I tell them to do is to go to their text, text me your first, last name, and an email, and I'll make sure you get that information. So what is my objective there? Simply is to just intrigue enough to where we can just go, okay, let's exchange numbers. And let me see if we can get back together and talk some more. Now, I have options, of course, to pass along all kinds of information. I can send them all kinds of videos, all kinds of things. And what I've been working on is videos on the rules of money. It's funny that the book is coming out with Tom Matthews and Steven Seavel, because what they're going to be talking about in the book is what I'm actually putting on video form right now, and that'll be accessible to everybody on this team. So you can send people information that gets them basic education, and it allows them to now have a conversation with you. So what I did with Arjun, and I said, you know, I found out he was married. They have one daughter, and they're going to be going to college in a few days. I'd love to get together with you and your wife, show you some of these ideas concepts that we've been working with, and you can do whatever makes sense from there. And we set an appointment. We got together. We did a financial strategy, and we made sure that they understood what an IUL and living benefits and all the other things that go along with it was going to do for their family. The beauty of that was, at the end, I always ask this question, and you should ask it every time you do a sale. You always, of course, talk about referrals ahead of time as you're going along. If I were to show you a plan that made sense in every way, you'll be the judge of that. I said, would you be kind enough to share it with others? Would you be good enough to actually refer me to other people you know that could use the same information? And they, of course, say yes. Then the next question I bring up is, if there was a way for me to compensate you for those referrals, would you be open to having that conversation? Would you want to know how that would work? And of course, Suchi especially, she said, yes. In fact, she said, I've always wanted to be a financial advisor. And these are people that are making good income. Let me just say, when you look at national average, they're making great income because they work here in the Silicon Valley. But she always wanted the freedom to have her own schedule, to do the things she wants to do, and she wants to be able to help others. They have a huge network in the Indian community, and they said, we'd love to share what you just shared with us with them. I said, well, great. Let's get back together. I'll show you what it takes to be certified and licensed in the state of California, and we'll go on from there. So they came on board. So the conversations I always have are going to be centered around financial literacy, tax-free income, and making sure that they understand there are better ways to do that. We have a problem in this country in that financial literacy is not taught in this country. It certainly isn't taught in college. You want a corporate finance degree? No problem. Let's get you ready. You can go get a job at a corporation. But if you want personal finances, it's really not taught. So there's a big gap, and we need to make sure we get that information out there. I share that story with people. And I tell them the wealthy are wealthy because they understand the rules of money. Most of us out here don't. So key things to remember. You know, the things we want to talk about is tax-free income. If you want to elaborate a little bit on that, which I did with Arjun when we were on our little ride, I said, well, case in point, Arjun, I said, you work for Apple. Do you have a 401k? He goes, of course. I said, you're probably getting some matching. Yes. I said, great. As you well know, it's not touchable till 59.5, and after that, it's going to be taxed at whatever the tax rate is at that time. Key question to ask, and here's how you want to phrase it. Do you believe taxes will be less or more in the future? Let me say that again. Do you believe taxes will be less or more in the future? 9 out of 10 times, immediately, they're going to say more. And history has shown us that slowly, systematically, they've been just going ahead and jacking up the federal and state tax rates. So in 1986, Reagan had the Tax Reform Act. Prior to that, a rate for retirement was 15%, 1-5. After that, it was whatever the income rate was going to be. So if they're working one day making $100,000 a year, or the next day they're retired taking $100,000 out of their 401k, it's taxed at the same income rate. Most folks don't understand that. So when I explain that and they say taxes are going up in the future, I said, so really what you're saying is, I'm putting money in something and telling the IRS, don't tax me now, tax me later when it's going to be more. I said, does that make any sense? And they go, no, it doesn't. So here's the close, right? What if there was a way for all of that money you're going to make for the rest of your life to end up being tax-free in the end? Would you want to know how that works? Yes, I do. Great. I said, let's get back together, whether it's online again through Zoom or Skype or whatever you're using, or it's face-to-face. Let's get back together and I'll show you how that works. What's a good number and an email to get a hold of you at? So my intent is not to sell. It's only to intrigue and entice to the point where we're just going to get a phone number and reconnect later. I hope that helps. Real quick, the other thing, if I'm meeting anybody and they're talking about how tough things are and they're not making enough money and I always ask 4 questions. I said, what kind of work do you do? And they tell me. Well, really, how long have you been doing that? And they tell me. So the next question is that what you see yourself doing over the next 10 to 15 years? And they'll say yes or no. If they say, no, not really, it's not something I see myself doing, I said, so you do keep your business options open? And they say, yeah, I mean, what do you got going? And I always use a third party. I have a friend who's an executive for a company, and they're looking for some good people. Now, I can't promise you anything, but I can put in a good word for you. What's a good number that he or she can get a hold of you at, right? If they ask what you do, yeah, it's a financial firm. So we do a lot of things virtually. We do the marketing for companies like Transamerica, Nationwide, Pacific Life. Are you familiar with any of those? Oh, yeah, I've heard of Nationwide. Sure. Say exactly. And I know they've got positions part-time and full-time. So, but say, hey, listen, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pass along your number and have them talk to you. What's a good number they can reach you at? So all I'm doing is I'm just getting people intrigued enough to exchange information and then following up. So I hope that kind of gives you, I don't have a lot of time, so I hope that kind of gives you a tidbit about what we're doing to get people to at least have another conversation with us. And just from the 3 people that we brought on board this past month, that's $28,000 in gross commission. We're only about 14,378 points from hitting senior vice president. Adam's extremely excited. Our recruiting numbers, I think we're going to be about 4 or 5 short, but that's not going to be a problem over the next 2 months to bring another 5, 10, 15 people on board. So we're excited about that. And Mike and Ilana, I appreciate your leadership and everything you guys do. So what I'd like to do now is to end this, my portion of this training, is to do something that of course most people don't do. And you can see that I know for a fact that it's $500,000 to executive marketing director. And it's not hard to go online to see what we've done as a team based through FIRST. So I believe we're about 345,000 points short over the next 3 months. And a true leader never calls his own shot, right? It's always part of his downline, somebody else that's going to call a shot. So if it's okay, I'd like to call a shot on your behalf for the whole team, and I'd like to actually help get you to executive marketing director over the next 3 months. So I know if we need 345,000 points over the next 3 months, the thing to do in September is to do about 95,000 based through FIRST. In October to do 115,000 points, and in November to do 135,000. That'll give us the 345,000 to become an EMD team. Consequently, what this will do is, of course, push a lot of us to work harder than we have been, because let's be honest, we look ourselves in the mirror right now, I can tell you for a fact, nobody's working as hard as they should. And nobody is working like they should be working to hit their promotions. So what Adam and I have discussed and what we're going to do, even though there's only like 2 or 3 of us right now, in September this month, and really a third of the month is gone, but we're going to do an extra 15,000 points. In October, 25,000. November, 35,000. You can count on that. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, that's another 75,000 of the 345,000 points that you're going to need from the team to help you get there. With that being said, I also want to thank Adam, Arjun, Suchi, and Brandon for doing what's needed, to win in business. I mean, they're just getting started, but we're very excited to be part of your team. So I want to pass it back to Ilana, and I want to thank you for the time, Ilana. Mike.
Angelo, such great points. This is all gold, you all. I hope you take the time to go back, listen to it again, take some notes. Angelo, just fantastic stuff. We really appreciate you and your time, and we're very excited to have you as a business partner, and, excited to learn from you and, work together as a team, and very much appreciated that, you're helping us with a team push, and just all great stuff. So thank you again, very much appreciated. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Mike. Thank you again, Angelo. I hope everybody got a lot out of it like I did.
All right, guys. Once again, Angelo, thank you so much. This is always, as always, going to be recorded, so this will be put on the Facebook page, it'll be emailed out, and it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. So you guys can go back if you were late into the meeting, or just go back and kind of press pause, take some notes on what he was saying. He gave you guys a lot of great information. One of the things I've learned in life and overall, but especially in business, when you have the opportunity to get around somebody who has experience, can give you insight, can help you, just close your mouth, be quiet, and take notes. Yesterday when I was talking to him, I took about a page of notes, asked him some questions that I had about my business up until this point, compared with, what he was able to do, how to get to those next levels. So once again, thank you so much for taking time, Angela, to talk to us today. I will make sure we don't keep you guys any later than we normally do. So I'll fly through some of this stuff. Basically, how to succeed. There's a lot of things, but the one thing that you want to make sure that you commit to is to see this out. Don't quit, because the only sure way you're going to fail in this business, or really anything you decide to do in life, is to quit. Now, all the rest of the stuff has, positive impacts on your business, but stick with it. Cash flow, a couple of things we had questions about this week. We get paid twice a week, 9 pay periods per month. You do get an entire platform advance on submission now, and aggregate all the products towards bonuses. Everything counts dollar for dollar. Understand how we get paid, not only for yourself, but when people ask you that in the open marketplace, step in advantage of our platform. Some people get paid. I was a broker one time. I got paid once a month. It was great when I got paid, but towards, those last few days before the next pay period, it gets short sometimes. So this is constant direct deposits coming through your account. That's advantageous. Also, the high earners, they know their numbers. So what I suggest you guys do, whatever your income goal is, you need to know how much that is every direct deposit cycle. If you break things down into smaller subsections and categories, it's going to be a lot easier to be in a constant mindset of reaching those short-term goals. Instead of making a longer-term goal, like an annual goal, make a direct deposit goal. See how close you can get there, and that's going to ultimately get you to your larger goals. Facebook group, it's a closed group, so A, anything you guys post in there will only be seen by the members, and B, we only take partners. It's a great way, so if you're not in the Facebook group or you have partners that aren't in, get them in, because not only do we share a lot of information, we positively push people towards individual and organizational goals, but it's also an open forum where if you're struggling, you have questions, you need clarification, it's a great way to go there and not only get one opinion or one answer, but multiple that can help you. The activity sheets are due by 9 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I do encourage you guys to take advantage of it, because not only does it help yourself grow, it helps us help you when we know exactly what you're doing, what results those are getting, and how to fix that if there's a problem or a blockage. But it also helps you set an example as a leader. And as you have people coming in, it's hard to ask somebody to do something if you're not doing it yourself. And it's also hard to understand really how to grow your business effectively and how to scale it if you don't know what you're doing and what that gets. So it's a lot easier to take something that you're working on, marketing, lead generation, whatever it might be, understand what that got. If there was a cost involved, understand what that was, cost of acquisition, return on investment, all these things that we talk about. But also, if I add fuel to the fire, I know what to expect on the back end now. Serious commitment, guys. It's not an hourly thing. So I think some of the partners coming in, you think about full-time or part-time as the commitment level. The commitment level is not the hours per week. It's what you're doing with those hours. So the team tracker, the activity sheet, these are all geared and made to help you guys. One of the things that you can do to blow your business up is be non-communicative in terms of, even if you're only an inviter starting out, You're building an organization. Yes, we're helping you manage and grow that office until you take care of it. But that doesn't mean that you should have zero communication with the team that you're starting to build. Also, the 12-week year, we're a little bit past halfway through. If you're not participating, we welcome you to participate next time. It's a great development program, time management system program that will help you, know your why, live your vision, demand your success, the ability to stay accountable, write down your goals, and make things happen over a compressed time frame that most people take a full year and don't even get to. I am from the school of thought. I like big goals. Now, if big goals scare you and you shut down, obviously just ignore what I'm saying. But I believe if you set big goals and you do not achieve them, you get way further along than you ever could have setting smaller goals. When your goals are big enough, the lies and excuses we tend to feed ourselves are no longer an option. So have big goals. If you smash through them, great. It's going to be a great growth cycle for you on partner revenue and income. But also, when you're looking at the opportunity to set goals for yourself and you do not reach them and they're big enough, like I said, you'll get way further along than you ever would. The checklist of things that you need to do, know what you need to do. Go into every single day with a plan of action. Write it down, actually do it, keep track so you know, and don't be afraid of mistakes, especially coming into a virtual environment, all of these new platforms we're using, social media. If you're making mistakes early on, that's a good leading indicator of your growth potential. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Now, if you're making the same mistakes over and over and over again, that's a problem. But just coming in, tripping over yourself, making the mistakes, that's the learning process. That's a learning curve. Don't be afraid of that. Income-producing activities. Remember to concentrate on what's going to make you money. So if you get around to your activity for the day, and some of it's not done, and some of the stuff that wasn't done was making a meme, doing a post, but you got all your contacts, calls, conversations, messages done, that's okay. If it's flip-flopped and you were able to do your meme and post and not get any of the actual real income-producing activities done, that's a problem. So tier your activity with what's most important, get that done. If the other stuff happens to get done, great. If not, not the biggest deal. Just a little recap of the WAM groups. Job postings, make sure if you're opening job accounts and posting, you understand their terms and guidelines. You ask us about it so you don't get closed down, your ads don't get shut off, and you don't get barred from posting more. Quality on partners and clients. Good business and good partners stick. So make sure that you're doing what you can to have a partner persona, a client persona, and make sure that you're doing the right thing for both sides. Follow-up. Going to make the difference between the high earners and the low earners, the big builders and the small builders. The book release and media tour, use this to your advantage over the next 9 to 12 months. It is an easy way to grow both sides of the business. Life insurance evolution, go into the marketplace with confidence. Yes, you have an innovative model, but you also have innovative products that, as Angelo mentioned during his talk, that a lot of people don't know they are interested, and if you intrigue them and build value and interest, they're going to want to know more, and that creates leads, and that creates conversations. Self-development, it's really hard to beat someone who refuses to quit, who's dedicated to personal development. If that's you coming in, you can be very successful here. Hiring and recruiting. A lot of times people think you as a recruiter or a headhunter, your job ends when they come in. If you've built a relationship, you guys have a good vibe going on, make sure to reinforce, hey, you're going to be part of my organization. I'm going to be working with you. We're going to have a relationship. Small agencies, we're looking over the next 3 to 5 years to consolidate the marketplace and gobble up as many of these small agencies as possible. It's a different conversation, and we're going to work on a presentation for that. But ultimately, you have platform admin advantages that a small agency can really come in here and thrive with. How money works conversation, David Colwell in our RAM groups brought up the fact that on the August 30th Wealth Wave leadership recording, Tom Matthews gave a great way to frame the conversation, how money works. Open that. The link is down here, but if you just go to our virtual environment, not in the theater where we meet for Tuesday, Saturday, but the auditorium, that's where the Wealth Wave stuff is. It's your business, you guys, and you're going to have to decide what you're willing to put into it. That's going to have a big determining factor on what you get out of it. But also, it's your business. You can't let other people sway, your mindset, your vision, your goals. Just because other people don't see what you're doing, other people aren't excited about what you're doing, that can't have any type of negative effect on you. The marketplace is going to reward you for being consistent, being authentic, and just, bringing a little bit of value to open the conversations, network with people, and really, just talk to people. This is a people business. Regardless of whether it's online or traditional physical, it's always been a people business. This was a report that I got. I just decided to share it with you guys from free conference call, I think, over the last couple of years. 81,000 total minutes, 1,300 meetings hosted, almost 5,800 participants joined. The minutes right here, I think out of the last 2 years of my life, this is about a full 2 months that I've spent on conference calls. Well, why do I do that? Because that's my investment. That's my time investment that's going to get me to the point where I have something that pays me passive income. This was a meme I created for my website, but online business is one of the ways to make money while you sleep. So you've got the REITs, dividend income from stocks, positive cash flow from rental income, silent business investment, and online business. The only one out of here that you can come in with basically no capital to start up and get an amazing return is the online business through our platform. So that's why I devote the time. That's why I work weekends. That's why we do what we need to do during this time period, because on the back end, it affords us a lot of freedom. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Billy Mays, the guy who did OxyClean, the guy who did the infomercials, one of the things he started out with was on the boardwalk, and he says you've got to get a crowd around you with, basically 100% positive or negative response. So do you hate stains? These are the type of things that people are all going to agree in a positive or negative way from. Well, I think we've got a message now with the financial literacy campaign that everybody can get behind. A lot of people understand financial literacy, once again, as Angelo referenced, big problem. So if you come out as an educator, an advisor, somebody that goes in, intrigues, builds interest, it's going to get the conversations going. So the people brought up in poor and middle class, they inherit those beliefs. So what we're trying to do is break that mindset, teach people to take a new path, learn how money works and how to implement concepts, strategies, and vehicles that are going to help them today as well as tomorrow. Everybody, when you look at statistics, they're stressed out, concerned about money matters, but only few understand how money works. So if you don't learn how money works, you're going to spend the rest of your life working for it as well as paying from not understanding it. So that's our campaign. That's what we're trying to do. And really simply, guys, from a standpoint of the financial literacy campaign, the book release, the nationwide media tour, it's real easy to get in front of somebody with this message and spin both client and partner conversations out of that. So you've got this right here. And what does that do? It covers all the bases. What, why, how, when, who, where. So what? Financial literacy campaign. Why? We're financially illiterate in this country. We're ranked only 16th in the world in financial literacy. How? Book release and media tour. When? Book releases in December. Media tour for 1 year after that. Who? We're going to reach 100 million Americans. Where? Nationwide. It's a big opportunity for you guys to have a clear, concise message that the marketplace accepts with positive connotations that allows you to continue the conversation. And whether you are a marketer, a manager, or a consultant, what you need to learn how to do is be solutions-based. Like Angelo talked about, don't talk directly about living benefits. Don't talk directly about insurance. That's off-putting to people. Talk about the advantage. Talk about things that the benefit maybe of those products in a way that would want the other side to ask for more information, want to be reconnected with you for further conversation. And then also, when you're looking at the business, remember there's two sides. You got the client side and the agency build out of the partner side. When you're looking at that and you're looking at our financial literacy campaign, I divide into three camps. The first camp is somebody that can't fit into either of the other camps. The second camp is those people who need help, and there's a lot of them. And during this particular period of time, the financial literacy campaign, you want to frame your conversation around having a lot of free services that are available during this time that person should take advantage of. And once again, the lead-in questions, do you see yourself retiring at the job you have now? Angelo says they're going to be working there for 10 or 15 years from now. Do you know how money works? How close are you to retirement? Do you know about tax-free income for retirement? These are the free services that somebody can sit down with a consultant and get. The other side of the coin is the people that fall into a possible partner, someone who can help us grow and help us get our message out. That's the business opportunity. So when you look at those two sides and you look at that one message, I think this works because now the 20-minute virtual financial specific company tour video will be after somebody's seen those upfront videos and they got interest in interviewing for position. Then you can preface the conversation with the interview will take place, but in order to prepare for the interview, you've got to watch this basic overview material on the company. The other way for the free financial services and everything we do on the client side, they're getting the Seabolt video, the end of wealth and retirement video, and they're getting a follow-up from you. What's your message? How many people are you going to reach? Well, you've seen our message. You've seen how many people are going to reach. When you're talking to independent agents, you're talking to small agencies, what's their message? What's their mission? How many people are they going to reach over the next year? These are things that you should get in your language and verbiage and understand the place that we're at, the advantages that we have, and how to go in the marketplace with confidence, but also not turn people away. There's no better time in history to be a marketer, networker, entrepreneur. So when you look at our financial literacy campaign from the business opportunity side, there's just so many things that we're hitting on that are advantageous, that people would want to be a part of if they understand it. Virtual business in financial services, one of the largest industries in the world, doing it all remotely, no barriers to entry, no barriers to growth. These are great things, and then you put on top of that the mission that we have over the next year or so, and it's a great opportunity to start changing lives, including your own, follow your path to a successful digital franchise ownership with a platform that can pay out a lot of money, that pays out 4 streams of income with an assembly line to allow you to gravitate towards what you want to specialize in, pass off the roles that you don't feel comfortable doing, you lack the skill set, or you flat don't want to do, off to other people. It's an amazing business opportunity for the right people. And then from the client side, why are we so, excited about our campaign? It's because when we are looking at the American dream, it's changed. Remember, we grow up hearing that you go to college, you get a job, you buy a house, you pay off your mortgage as soon as possible, you save a little each month, and you're set for life. Well, that was because this is what it looked like. It was rock solid advice because previous generations, they lived in the same house for their entire life. They had one job for their entire life. They lived on one income. They retired with a pension. They had no credit card debt. They saved a little money consistently, and they could count on Social Security. Things have changed dramatically, and part of our message to the marketplace is we can help you navigate through these times to make sure that you understand what you need to do, how to do it, and how to get to where you want to go. And they planned on being retired for only a few years. Remember, the life cycle has dramatically lengthened, which means there's many more retirement years, which means there's a opportunity like you see in a whole generation right now for people to run out of money. We can sit down and show you how to get through, a number of our products, lifetime income. And then from those conversations, from the fact that things are changing, from opening conversations with people, guys, there's a lot of term policies out there that need to be upgraded to living benefits if they can qualify. Just by going through the sheer numbers of contacts, communications, conversations, you're going to find those if you can effectively ask for it, and that's a very easy sale. It's a reallocation of funds to a better vehicle they didn't know existed. It's one of the easiest sales you guys can make, and you'll get those from the natural activity on the front side. It's about conversations, videos, and calls. That's it. Conversations that lead to client or business opportunity videos, follow-up, ABC calls, consultations, interviews. It all comes from you loading up the front end with enough activity to get to different outcomes. Compound interest, rule of 72, all of these things that we do and we talk about to start conversations, to what Angelo said, get somebody interested enough to continue the conversation and be intrigued by what you have to offer. 30-day challenge. So if you're new in the business, you want to go through a 30-day challenge because what happens in those first 30 days is you're going through the learning curve, you're feeling your way around, and you're either getting comfortable or uncomfortable with this business model. Little to nothing in the CRM, it has little or no activity going on, nothing on the calendar, doubt starts to creep in. And then you start to justify why you might not be able to do it, why you might not think the business model is viable for you, whatever it is. If you have enough activity, if you have enough calendar things going on, if you have enough communication going on, you're going to get through this. You've got enough activity where doubt is not creeping in. The activity first 30, 60, 90 days is a huge leading indicator of whether or not somebody's going to make it here. And you need to understand that our system allows you in a very systematic way through the tier 1 contact and confirm virtually to serve as a front door for your business. So you're letting people know you're in business. And that's a big problem with a lot of people that come in. They're just not visible enough. They're not letting enough people know what they're doing, why, how. And then secondarily, it's your business. You get to choose who you let in the front door as far as clients or partners. But it all starts with the front door. If you had a traditional brick and mortar business and you turned off all the lights and closed the door, your business is going to be zero. Same thing in the virtual world. And you need to follow a schedule. You need to have some type of an outline where you've got a social media strategy, an online strategy, a communication strategy. And this is going to be something you develop over time. In the very beginning, because of the assembly line, because of the help that you have a limited role. You just nail that role. We'll do the rest for you. But as you go forward, make sure you're starting to develop a strategy for yourself. And really all it does, no matter if you got email campaigns, calls, ads, social media, it's all leading to the CRM. You have to feed that CRM, and that's why it's so important for you guys not to just send messages with links, because you lose total control of the conversation. You've got to open a conversation. You've got to entice people to want what you're giving them as far as value-based, free information, education, and that creates a lead you can follow up with. Always, always, always take notes and put in notes. Remember, we have a collaborative CRM, which means that if you add somebody to the file and you're wanting them to take over a role in the assembly line and you have absolutely no notes in there that can help them, they're flying blind into that conversation, which is not fair to the other person, and it's not fair to your business as you grow, because if that's the example you're setting for other people, there's going to be nothing but a shell of a CRM, and it's going to be impossible to control clients, partners, nationwide distribution. Use all methods of communication. Don't get stuck on one. Use them all. Resolve leads. You're not explaining, rebuttaling, convincing. You're just inviting people to take a look at what we're doing and then following up. During this time that we have the book tour or the book release media tour, it's a good time to go back to your warm market. I know some of you guys are. Facebook Messenger with that quick little blurb about what's going on, what we're doing is a great way to open conversations. And then as you move around, remember in the very beginning, email is kind of looked at as an old, boring marketing strategy, but it does work. So email, LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you're using both of those. And LinkedIn is an amazing strategy because when you talk about, the experts, they all have different things to say. But when you look at really the return on investment for effective appointment generation, you've got email and LinkedIn is a great place to start. And then this trillion-dollar industry is very big, very competitive, but digital works here. So you don't want to go out there and spread yourself too thin. You need a LinkedIn strategy, you need an email strategy, and you need to go ahead and implement that and be active and be consistent with that. Build your audience, engage your audience, and sell your audience. Selling's last. You got to build and engage. And like Angelo said, you've got to entice, you've got to offer value, you've got to give them a reason to want to continue the conversation with you. We talked about this a few weeks ago. People on their phones are scrolling the equivalent of one day the length of the Statue of Liberty. If your ad's out there, 80% of that or more is going to be image. So make sure if you're posting things that it grabs the attention of other people. It has colorful things, things that are shiny things that will make somebody at least stop for a second or two, take a look at what's going on, and you don't get caught up in just being scrolled. We talked about LinkedIn almost every week. It is a top lead generation site by a long shot. That's why we say have an effective LinkedIn strategy, and it needs to match your personality and your message. All of you are not going to have the same LinkedIn strategy. You're going to find something that works for you, but have a strategy, test it, and then go through and see what's working and what's not. If you're using LinkedIn Helper, which once again is a personal decision that you guys will either want to use it or not use it, it's a 3-step process. Collect, select, and invite. Thank you message after you personally invited them, And you can put them on a continuous rotation of messages that give them value, sprinkled in with business, product, our financial literacy campaign. It's a great way to automate this, but once again, it's your choice whether or not you use Helper or not. If you are using it, remember, when you get in the back of this, you've got a source. Where am I pulling the data from? Well, for example, this was the thank you messages. These are people that I invited. They came into my network. I thanked them, so now I'm going to pull them as a source, and I'm going to send a value message. The next time around, I could take that value message as a source and open up a new target. So it's very easy to automate what you're doing here. Once again, LinkedIn doesn't like this. It's not part of LinkedIn. It's a personal decision whether you use it or not. Start thinking about your individual partner value. It's very important. As you build organizations, you build different offices, you've got to think about the value of what's going on. What does a team member mean to you? What does a team member mean to you that's actively working, that's on meetings, that's communicating with you? That's a pretty valuable piece of your organization, especially starting out. You cannot give everybody the same amount of time. You've got to divvy up the time. It's an investment. Put it behind the people that are going to get the best return for you as well as them. 310, that's what we're looking for. Direct base shop recruits of 3 starting out will fuel the 10 base shop per month build out. And that will, in essence, over time, as we train them and support them, create the digital franchises that you're looking for. Remember, momentum, that's everything in life, but marketing, conversations, recruiting, sales, tier activity, just like money compounds, so does activity. During this time, you've got a clear message. You can go out in the marketplace, and you can effectively open conversations very easily right now. This book release and media tour is not going to be around forever. It's a temporary thing over the next 9 to 12 months that you can really use as a springboard for your business. And remember, we're all about distribution. Product sales is an old model. We're not looking to build a book of business. We're looking to build a free-flowing business nationwide with multiple offices under our portfolio that provide nationwide distribution of financial services and what that can possibly do for you. So once again, somebody wants to be a producer, there's a little value they can extract out of our platform. We're looking for people, entrepreneurs who want to build online businesses, distribution in financial services. We've got an enormous IMO to handle it. And, compared to the rest of the industry, you have a big advantage with the WFG platform because no matter how big you grow, no matter what you throw at it, they're going to be able to absorb it. It's a huge advantage for us. You've also got to realize as you're building this, the evolution of a business partner, if you've got to spend time with people on the front end, so on the back end they can be independent, you can't be all upset and complain about that. People are going to need your help, just like you needed help when you came in and you got it. So understand people are not going to know what to do. They're going to have a lot of what you probably consider stupid, dumb little questions. You probably had the same one. So understand what you need to do as a leader is lead people. They will follow. Your lack of leadership will cause people to drift and quit. Be strong, not rude, quiet, or kind, not weak, humble, not timid, proud, not arrogant. You need to make sure that you understand, your partners understand, especially in the beginning. We talked about this before. It's okay to make mistakes. You're not going to survive. You're not going to get outside that comfort zone and be mistake-free. And that's a big part of stepping out of that comfort zone because now you're going to make mistakes. Now you're going to do things that are uncomfortable. Now you're going to try new things. That's also going to separate you from the majority of the population who can't step outside that comfort zone and can't do what you're looking to do. To make a big impact, make big money, you've got to have courage. And that's going to be, something that is different at different points in your business. Going out and speaking in front of people might be something you have to overcome. But in the very beginning, courage might just be picking up that phone and making that initial contact with somebody and to launch 20. Without courage, you're not going to be able to do something that's meaningful for you, your family, and your business partners. If you're not getting the results that you're looking for, you multiply your efforts. If you're multiplying your efforts, you're still not getting the results. There's something wrong with what you're doing, with your procedure, and that can go back to just listening to Angelo, what he said. You want to listen to somebody who's done this before and who has solid advice that can help you grow your business. So what I suggest you guys do, go back to this recording, listen to him again, and take notes on what he said. And if your business is struggling, and this is something I learned from Angelo, not that our business is struggling, but I want to help people get off to the fastest start possible get velocity behind their organization. So the one thing that Angelo told me is that if you want to get your organization off to a quick start, or provide injection of enthusiasm, performance, results in there, you've got to be that person, and you've got to go on a 30-day run, and you've got to show those people in your organization what you've done over those 30 days. They will follow your lead. They will see what you've done, be impressed, and that will give them the confidence that they can go out and do this on their own. So, guys, that is what we have for today. If you guys need any help with anything we can possibly do, or as far as the technical standpoints of it, strategy, whatever it is, just let us know. I'm going to stop the